When it comes to the animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's, they're built from the ground up to strike fear into you and send chills through your bones, while still being cute enough to give the believability of warm fuzzies when they're up on stage. Though that doesn't change how spine-tingling they can be when you see those plated and painted beings twist up into a metal pretzel and crawl along the floor. It's especially disturbing when Freddy does it. But some animatronics don't cause that chilly dread that they're supposed to. Instead, just to look at them fills you with a rush of heat. Your face flushes, your heart pounds. Is it hot in here? Or is it just you? It's not. It's them. And it's time to go over which sizzling bot is the hottest animatronic of all time. So let's begin. Starting with number 5. Baby. Baby's various forms have struck various feelings into the hearts of many. There's the gigantic toddling Circus Baby, towering over even the tallest adult and capable of crushing you to a pulp. And the sensual novel Baby, built for form more than function. But no version of Baby is hotter than Broiler Baby, a baby built to burn the remains and leave nothing but ashes behind. Also known as Stove Baby, Broiler Baby stands as tall as Circus Baby. In fact, she looks almost identical to her, save her smudged plating, covered in a layer of ash, dirt, and scorch marks. And fitting red eyes. She also carries a coal shovel. It is under this plating where she really heats up, because at the core of Baby's sturdy stomach is an ember-stuffed broiler, which not only roars in a constant blaze, but superheats her endoskeleton. When she opens up her faceplates, her skull is red hot, when it's not engulfed in flames, which is often. So much as opening her belly door causes oxygen to flood in and stoke the fire churning inside. The plating only keeps it at bay for a little while, just long enough for her to get close. Then she opens her face, opens her oven, and pulls you inside. You'll be cooked in no time, but don't expect it to be a painless ordeal. If not for her exterior being capable of keeping that heat inside, Broiler Baby would surely be higher on the list. But no mistake, she is still the hottest baby that Fnaf has to offer. But moving on, number 4, Bonnie. There are plenty of Bonnies worth discussing. There's the broad-shouldered rock star Glam Rock Bonnie, the harness-wearing Glam Rock Bonnie, the chubby bowling shirt-wearing Glam Rock Bonnie, and then a bunch of others. But no Bonnie lights up a room faster than the bright and toasty Jacko Bonnie. Don't let the jack-o'-lantern design fool you. There's something stronger than a candle lighting this hollowed-out rabbit. Constantly drenched in a warm glow, Jacko Bonnie is built to heat up the joint and fill it with a surplus of smoke. Just shake it off. With sharp-pointed teeth and luminous orange eyes, you can assume the heat just pours out of every gaping opening in his suit. Due to his twinning nature with Jacko Chica, we also know that he likely thrives on the heat, probably appearing when the temperature is cranked up. And if he could talk, only the spiciest of puns would likely be spat. But why he ranks higher than Broiler Baby is due to the even heating throughout his body. Baby might burn brighter, but it relies on that internal oven. Jacko Bonnie keeps himself alight all throughout the night. He brings greetings from the fire, and it keeps him alive. Now you're probably wondering why Jacko Chica isn't here, and that's because there's another chicken that deserves that plating better. And that would be none other than number 3, Chica. Chica's had many forms as well. Slender and lean, thick and meaty, stuffed with miscellaneous foodstuff and refuse, but there's only one chicken baked with enough heat to make it to the platter. The aptly named Scorching Chica. This rotisserie chicken is actively burning, and it's out of the frying pan and into the fire with her. Her skin resembles lava, what's not charred and blackened. Most of her details have been burned away. Her bib, her hands, even her cupcake is burned out. All that remains are big black eyes with orange, jagged irises. She's hard to look at, both figuratively and literally, as the heat pouring off of her must be intense. She sucks the oxygen and humidity out of any room she walks into. while lighting up anything that she brushes up against. And don't get me started on how pungent the smell must be. The overwhelming odor of burning rubber, fabric, and metal, and whatever food Chica managed to get down her gullet before she began to burn. It has to be foul, borderline poisonous even. That concoction of fumes may very well kill you before she can. She is the visual representation of what happens when you get cooked in Stove Baby's oven. Extra crispy barbecue chicken. But that's enough about Chica, because we have another sizzling specter to take on. Number 4, Foxy. The Flaming Reaper Grim Foxy is Jack O'Bonnie and Chica's fierce cousin. No longer content to sit outside doors and sneak into houses, Grim Foxy prowls the closest cornfield and throws himself at anything that gets in his path, all while being, as expected, engulfed in flames. But the heat alone isn't what might get your heart racing. From his sinister sickle hook ready to lop off heads, and his long claws willing to snatch free hearts, to his long rows of jagged teeth illuminated by the fire within, sat underneath one empty, glowing eye. Foxy is a grim reminder that your flesh is very flammable, especially when filleted open. Just look at him and tell me he doesn't light a fire in your belly. Better pour some rum on that. But speaking of looks, you might look at Scorching Chica and Grim Foxy and think, hey, what gives? Chica looks a whole lot hotter than Foxy. Look at those charbroiled thighs, that fried beak. Chica is totally charred, while Foxy's just flaming. But here's why I think Grim Foxy might be the hotter of the two. See, Scorching Chica wanders around and hunts you, and she burns as she does. But Grim Foxy runs at breakneck speed, and yet the fire doesn't falter, it grows. That shows how perpetually heated Grim Foxy truly is. Whatever fuels him, hatred, spite, gasoline, it burns hotter than the rest. Anyone can stand and burn, but it takes a lot of sheer heat to keep up those active flames. But even with that in mind, there is still one more animatronic hotter than even him. But before we get to them, let's cool down with a few honorable mentions. Roxanne Wolf. Despite walking straight through fire, her searing hot heated metal effects didn't make it into the final game. Guess she's not hot enough. The Flamethrower Endo. While he gives the impression of being hot to the touch, he relies heavily on his flamethrower. Without it, he would just be a normal Endo. The Phantom animatronics as a whole. Even though they look burned, they're just phantoms. None of the heat from whichever fire they were in still resides inside of them. And, finally, Melted Bonnie. You must get pretty warm to get that smooth and drippy, but only hot enough for second-degree burns at worst, maybe. Totally edible. Better get some marshmallows and graham crackers, because he's not sticking around for long. But finally, number 1, the absolute hottest animatronic, Springtrap. While currently burning in hell. For years, fans have been inexplainably enticed by Springtrap. A human in a suit. A monster trapped forever in his own tool for murder. But still, there was something there. Maybe it was his voice.
I am here to claim what is left of you. And now you are mine.
Maybe it was his confidence. Whatever it was, there is no doubt that Springtrap stoked the flames of passion in many a Fnaf fan, even before his temperature skyrocketed. But things changed after one slip of judgment landed him in the furnace. Now located in the deepest pit under the watchful gaze of the Red King, this amalgam of boiling flesh, melted metal, and seared fabric continuously fuels an inferno of hate and agony, created through his own actions. He built this fire and now it consumes him. And even when free of it, even when on the outside, he still burns. Sometimes he briefly recognizes his situation before exploding in flames, silently screaming, calling for people who cannot hear him and who would not help him if they could. The flames will feed on him forever. There is nothing else. And because of that, because of his constant blaze, and because of his hand in building that eternal prison, There is no doubt that the smoldering, smoking Springtrap is the hottest animatronic ever created in Five Nights at Freddy's. Because there is nothing sexier than watching a sinner burn. So there you have it. The hottest animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's. These 5 scorching Bunsen burners of bots will raise the temperature of any building they step into. Just looking at them will dry out your eyes and leave you with severe cornea burns, and chapped lips, and severe smoke inhalation. So, keep a far distance if you want to keep your skin intact. Otherwise, you'll be walking away without most of it. And if you are tempted to go down to the pit to see Afton for yourself, well, someday, kid, you'll be down in hell. What? Were you thinking I meant something else? I guess the title is a little misleading. Well, to be fair, let me just clear that up. Let me tell you which animatronic is the most visually appealing hottest and not the temperature-related hottest. The hottest animatronic of all time is